Hey, welcome back to the realm. This is Darkwing Dave, back for another episode on the Dark Moon Kingdom. This is going to be episode 6 of our World Tour series, and if you watched episode 5, you got to see part of the underground base down here. We left off here in the workshop, so that's where I'm going to begin now. So go ahead and come with me, and we're going to finish this tour. I'm just going to let you see this little workshop that we're in here. It's been a nice little area for me to just run in here, craft some things, reflect on stuff, look at my map of the kingdom. I've got a box there I can just dump my inventory into for the most part, and it goes to all the different storage rooms automatically. So yeah, that's my little workshop. So let's see, what have we not done today? We need to go ahead and check out. Uh, if you okay, let's do this. If you haven't seen the rest of my World Tour series, go ahead and check out that link in the top right of the video. You should see it about now, and that goes to the playlist for the World Tour series, so you can watch it from episode 1 all the way through episode 5. That way you can get to this episode, episode 6. I highly encourage you to do that, so you can see where we've been so far and what we've seen. But we're going to go ahead and start off this episode down here in the farm. This is the entrance. We'd come down the entrance elevator from the treehouse above, and we could either go into the tree farm or we could go into the silo room. So we're going to head into the silo room. The silo room, I call it, because it's full of silos. If you look on the back wall, we've got all these silos back here. And if you saw the last episode where we talked about the kelp silo, then you know what's going on here. But if not, then you're still watching, that's all right. Let me go ahead and eat real quick. So basically, we have a double chest at the bottom of each half of this silo. So we got twisting vines on this side, we got weeping vines on this side, which I need to build a farm for those. And I don't really know why. I just want to, just like those. Like, who needs that many? But we have a double chest full right here of these. We have a double chest on this side that's not full of these. But whenever the double chest is full, it goes to the next chest, and there's a stack of chests back there that I call a silo because they fill from the top and funnel all the way down to the bottom chest, and then it fills from the bottom up, just like a silo. Now, as each double chest starts filling up, the little light comes on so that you can tell from the front how much stuff you have. So in this case, that entire silo is full of the twisting vines, which is just ridiculous, I know. But over here, we got some warped roots, some crimson roots, we got some glowberries, we got some moss carpets. If I look up through here, they're not totally full yet, but they have been full at least 2 other times. And I end up using a lot of the moss carpets for future builds. I can, if I go into a room and I'm just building something and it's wide open, I can throw down carpet, keep mobs from spawning, get the place lit up properly, then I can take the carpets up. Or in some cases, like in this base, I've got the carpet down through the hallways. We'll show you that real quick. It's like right over here, you can see the regular grass, which I'm not sure why I did it this way, but then I added these carpets. And what's interesting about these carpets, kind of gives it a nice little grassy look. I'm actually building in a savanna biome, so the grass all looks like that, which it's okay. A lot of people think it's ugly. I think it's all right for the biome itself, but building down here in the base, I wanted the grass look, and then I started thinking, well, I don't really like the color of the grass in this biome, but these moss carpets look nice and green. They're bright, and they have the added benefit that they hide the soul soil underneath. And the reason why I have soul soil underneath these hallways is because if you wear boots that are enchanted with soul speed 3, as you can see right there on my enchantment list, then when you're running down this hallway, you go extremely fast. If you can't tell that that's fast, well, then you haven't been running around Minecraft much. So this is pretty fast. And so anyway, I use a lot of the carpets around the base, and you can also compost them. And as a matter of fact, everything in this room is compostable. So all these items that I have bulk storage, I can just take them to compost if I want, turn them into bone meal, which I have definitely done. My sugar cane is full. I need to craft some paper at some point, because I do have a villager trading hall now, and it has about 40 librarians in it. So we're going to craft up some paper and go do that at some point. This door takes you into the back here, where you can see the silo design, which is heavily inspired by a YouTuber called Exumavoid. Now, you may have heard of this person. They run the Hermitcraft server. So pretty cool. They've got tutorials on the channel, and I was looking around for a silo design and stumbled across their tutorial on it. And I had to modify it just a little bit to make it work for me and have all the lights and the storage boxes down below. And if you take a look, you'll see how how his is different. So, but anyway, I've got all these back here. We've got the blue item sorters or filters, whatever you want to call those, up at the top. Those are an Impulse SV design that I used to use on Java, but they do work on Bedrock as well. You just have to be careful not to overload these things with too many items at once. But other than that, they work really well. So I do have an item, what I call a hopper line right up here, that runs across the top of all these item filters, and they'll pull the items down into the correct silo and then fill the silo up from the top, from the bottom to the top. But anyway, so that's what it looks like back here on the back end of this storage room. I got a little compost machine over here that I was putting in items into at one point for making bone meal, but then I created an entire compost room. So I don't need this anymore really, but sometimes I do. If I've got things in my hand that I need to compost, it's easier to throw it into that. If we come down underneath the silo room, I've made an addition to the silos, which is kind of what I call a drain or a drainage system, or I don't know. You can flush the silo. So if I throw that lever, all the sugarcane is going to start flowing down into this hopper line going around the corner here. And I've got composters on top of here because a long time ago the composters would prevent a lot of lag on the server that hoppers would create. And so just on a side of caution, I went ahead and put them on here. I think they fixed that bug a long time ago, but you never know, and composters are cheap. So anyway, all the items run through this line. They hit this dropper clock. So then items flow into the dropper. The clock senses that it's in there and it sends a pulse around. It fires the dropper, and the dropper spits the items out into the water chute that's on the other side of here. Let me hop up in here. It basically goes down into the water streams that flow into the compost room down below. We'll just walk back into here, check out this room. I got very artistic on this room. I'd never built anything like this. When I did build the room, it was the first time I'd ever built with the nether materials, and also did some glazed terracotta in the ceiling up there. It's not perfect, but I do like the way it turned out. And a lot of the others on the server like it as well, so it's pretty cool. Got a lot of vines everywhere. Just climb up here for no reason, right? But anyway, we will move on. I got a little closet back here. Sometimes I run in here and I put extra things, like we've got a bunch of boxed kelp back here, and I've got a bunch of boxed up sugar canes as well, which when you consider how much is in the silo versus how much is in the box, it's just an incredible amount right now. I'm trying to think. Let's see. We're going to go this way. We're going to head back around the farm this way, past the cactus and cane, and got a little window here you can walk up and see the cactus farm. And if you didn't get a chance to see any of these are in the last episode, episode 5. Highly suggest you check that out. So we're going to go around through these tunnels here. This takes us back to the hallway that goes to the castle. So that hallway would head toward the first tower on the castle. And then this hallway is my first storage hall. Gotta eat again already. It's one of the side effects from running really fast everywhere. Plus I have to make sure that I don't break my boots. So anyway, this was the first storage hall that I built. This hall is directly below the drawbridge that goes into the front of the castle. And there's magma blocks underneath that bridge up there, if you've seen that episode of the tour. And I decided at one night that I would just kind of bring that same theme straight down here underneath the entrance, because this hallway goes right to the castle storeroom down at that end. If we just get a little bit closer, you can see that. So when we leave this storage hall, now we're entering the castle. So we're directly underneath the Redwood Castle, and this was the storeroom that was in the last, well, it was in the episode before last. So episode 4 of the castle tour. So this was my first storage hall that I built on this server. I needed some place to put everything, and I'm a big fan of having automated storage where I can just dump items into a chest and have them go into the correct locations in storage all by themselves. So like here we've got some log storage right over here for our spruce. When I'm cutting down trees in the tree farm, you can see, I think this is what I got from the last tour episode where I actually cut down a tree. There's some in here at least, maybe just a little bit. But we also have some saplings from that. We've got the nether fungus. What is this? Crimson fungus. Got some warped fungus. So I think the most important part of this storage was the building materials. So we have a lot of crafted materials in this room. I just stocked up on this stuff, so this is all going to be full. So I'll need to use these rather than making more. That way I can deplete this and then I can restock later. But when I come in here to restock these items, I usually bring a shulker box of stone with me. I'll chuck it right here on the wall. And then I'll hit one of these buttons, this wooden button here or over here. And that's going to activate a block swapper. And then I have a crafting table. Now, block swappers, they've been around for quite a while. I just wanted the opportunity to use it, so I thought it'd be pretty neat. I mean, you could most definitely just stick a crafting table in here somewhere, but I did like doing that. I like to play with redstone, and the one I use in particular was a design by Mumbo Jumbo, or some people just call him Mumbo, but the channel is Mumbo Jumbo. And I'm going to go ahead and put a link to all these channels in the description of the video so that you can see. If we click this button here, we have a stone button, we get a stone cutter. So that way I can also make these steps and slabs and other things. And then when we're done with that, we can just hit one of these buttons and then the block swapper takes that away. So every one of these, if it's a wooden button, it's a crafting table. And if it's a stone button, it's the stone cutter. So at every section of this storage room, I have access to a stone cutter and a crafting table in every section, which I thought was very convenient. I've also put soul soil, if I can talk, underneath the black carpets. So when I'm just coming straight through here, I can just run right through there. I didn't do it down the middle because, well, you can't really put it there because that's a wool block that gets swapped out for the crafting table. And if I made it a soul sand or soul soil, you can't put carpet to hide it because whenever the block swaps, the carpet pops off. So I just decided to do the runners down the sides, and then you come into the middle and slow down and look at the blocks you need and do that kind of stuff, and then just jump back on the side and run again. In these hallways, though, the red strip of carpet has the soul soil underneath it, so I can just run fast down the middle. If my boots are about to break, I can hop over into the sides where there isn't any soul soil, and I can just run down the sides. You can see it's much slower versus running down the middle. So that's just another little feature that I have in order to get around this base faster. And when you're going all the way down the hall, well, you can see that this is going to be a big help. But anyway, this was the first storage hall that I built, and it worked fine for a while, and then slowly but surely I filled it up. And I had crafted items and craftable items, like you've got your logs here that can be turned into wood. I had a lot of that kind of stuff in here too, but slowly but surely I started moving those items out of this hallway and only putting crafted items in this hallway, but it's a work in progress. And a lot of the other items, like the plain stone and cobble and all that, that you would, create other items from, those items I store over here in this hallway. And this is just right next to my workshop. So this hallway came next, and it's a silo hall, as I call it. Made it a little bit decorative, was trying to get into the medieval theme here. But you step down into this hallway, and you've got these really big silos. These are holding 10 double chests on each side. So for each item, and this one just holds 2 silos of stone. So at one time, this was completely full, and this side was filling up, and it was almost full. So I started draining from both sides by dropping shulker box on each side here and filling them up. And then you take your shulker boxes when they're full and run over to the other room and make, stone bricks and stairs and all that stuff out of it. So that way I don't have too many, but it looks like I still need to find a way to use some more of this. I need to start building is what I need to start doing. So as soon as we get done with these world tour videos, I should call these episodes World Tour episodes, then we'll go back and start doing some Let's Plays, and that's when I'm going to start building. So if you look in this hall, where I have all these silos, We can just quickly go through here so you can see what I have in here. I've got some black stone. I've got some netherrack blocks. Need a little proof. Let me just peek inside some of these so you can see what I have. So I've got some black stone, got some netherrack, iron ingots. Wow, this used to be full. I definitely used some iron lately. And what I usually do is whenever I start bringing in more iron from the iron farm, when this gets full, I'll come in here and I'll drain out a few shulker boxes worth of iron and stand in my workshop and block it all up. And then I dump the blocks into the system and they go into this silo right here. This one actually had quite a few in it, but when I built my villager trading hall, I made it out of iron blocks. You'll see that later because it's also an iron farm. That's where most of those went. We have a guardian farm on the server. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of shards and crystals here to build with. I've stocked up on that. And because of the same farm, we've got raw cod, we got bones, lots of bones. The bones mostly came from the mob farm that another member of the realm built. His name is Wacko Relic, and he has the mob farm on the server. Since it was such a good farm, nobody else decided to build one. We just kind of all used that one. It also produces bone meal and a few other things, but most of this bone meal has come from my compost room. So all these farms and all those items that were in the front silo room that are compostable, eventually when they fill up, then the items overflow into the compost, become bone meal, and make their way back to this storage room. So that way I always have plenty of bone meal. And what happens when this gets full, I usually start blocking them up. I need to get back to it because this one's definitely full and I could probably make some more bone blocks. And at some point, I've got to figure out what to do with these. If you have any ideas, please let me know because I look online and there's just not a lot of inspiration for these things. You can build some fossils, but I don't know if I want to build fossils out of them. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do with that, but there's got to be something fun that I can do with bone blocks. Other than that, they're just compressed bone meal. I can take a shulker box, chuck them into my ender chest, which I do have. And so anytime, anywhere, I've got a box of compressed bone meal I can use. So also we have some dried kelp blocks. We've got some cooked chicken from the cook. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's more chicken than anybody ever needs. I definitely need to turn that farm off. And the feathers, way too many feathers. Need to sell that to the Fletcher. That's gonna take forever. Sticks, yes, lots of sticks, plenty of sticks. You can make sticks from bamboo, which I have done. We got lots of bamboo as well. And, well, I don't know what you think about this, but we have lots of shulker shells as well. Lots and lots of shulker shells. I use lots of shulker boxes. I go through a lot of them. Definitely moving things around, taking stuff out to big build projects or whatever. And on this side, we got sandstone, we've got sand, we've got gravel, we've got dirt and grass, we've got some cobbled deep slate. I should probably get down at some point and do some mining and get myself some more of these because I just really don't have a lot yet. And this stuff, even digging underground as much as I have, you just really don't get a lot of granite, andesite, or diorite. But I do have a little bit here, so if I need to use that for anything. I also switch over my Silk Touch pick to a regular pick occasionally when I get too much stone. And I collect some cobble as well, but you can see that's getting full. Man, that's just crazy. All right, so anyway, that is the storage silo, or silo hall, I guess I should call it. So I got the silo hall, I've got the regular storage hall for crafted items down there, and then I've got the silo room up front. But this one by far holds the most items at 10 double chests per silo, per side. If you call this whole thing right here a silo, then that's 20 double chests of cobble, of stone. That's a lot. If you want to see what that looks like, I'll just step back here for a moment. Spin around, and you can see this room. Those are the silos. Those are the item sorters up top. So that way the items know where to go. Just go back out here. And this is the box that I chuck everything into. So if I want to put stuff back in storage, which I'm not putting any of this stuff away, but anything I had in here I could chuck into that chest and it'll go to one of the 3 storage rooms. It'll go to this hall, it'll go to that hall, or it'll go to that silo room up front. So that let's see, is there anything else I could show you down here? If we go back to this door, got another sign for some credit for Exumavoid on the silos. These are a heavily modified version of his silos, but I still give him credit because I wouldn't have these if it wasn't for his video. So really appreciate that. Definitely an awesome starting point, X. I really appreciate it. So this is this room. You've got the item sorters up top right there. I do have like a little pit you can go down into here. Let's see, go down here. And this is the mechanism that makes the levers work, wherever you flip the lever and the piston drops and pulls the block down, so you can put a shulker box in front of the silo to fill it up. So these items are from the silos. But that's how I did that. I've got one on this side as well. This pit's a little bit different. These are the overflow items. So once the items go through the silo room, then they go through the silo hall, then they make their way over into this last storage hall. If you're turned around and lost, it's this storage hall right here. But the items will go through that. It'll go through all the sorters for this hall. And if the items can't fit into any of those boxes, then they go into this overflow chest. But the overflow chest, I don't have it locked currently. You can lock it like that, so all the items end up in the chest, or you can unlock it, which is how I keep it most of the time. And the items will just flow from the chest straight down through these hoppers into the floor. And that's where this pit goes. So you can follow the hopper line this way into another dropper clock, which spits the items into this water stream. And then the water stream takes these items all the way over to a water elevator at the end, and they go up to the top of the base, up above the tree farm, which I haven't shown anybody that yet. But once they get up there, they circulate around and start at the beginning again. So the items go back around to the silo room at the front where the nether trees are at. And it starts back over there again and tries to go into those silos. And if it can't, then it makes its way back to this hall and back to that storage. So one of the things I have to make sure is that I don't have any, any chests that are full. So if these silos are full, or if that storage hall is full, then I'm going to have items circulating until they despawn, which is wasteful. But if they've got nowhere to go, they just circulate until 5 minutes elapses and they despawn. Now on Java, back in the day when I played on Java, they wouldn't despawn if they were in a water stream. So I mean that's that's a long time ago, but it's trivial. Like you would have to figure out some way to destroy the items or make room for them or do something else with them, because they would just build up, and then you would end up with a lot of server lag, and we don't want that. But now we don't have to worry about that, so they just despawn. It's kind of wasteful, but I did design a little way around that, and if we have time, I'll get to that. But if you give me just a moment, I'm gonna stop off right here real quick, and I'm gonna check the video time, and we are at 24 minutes, so I might have a little bit of time left in this episode. I'm pushing these to 30 minutes. I was doing 20-minute episodes, but it seems like there's just a lot of content here. So if let's see, I'm thinking I might just take you up to the, I think the vine shaft is better. I'm sorry, I'm getting turned around here. Let's go up the vine shaft. We go up the vine shaft, level 2, yeah, sub-level 2. Should be a door back here. Just gonna go through here, go through this hall, and this takes us back to, I would call this my workaround for item overflow. As I said before, the items will just circulate indefinitely, but I also put in some item filters up in the water stream for the circulator, and I can program these 3 machines. These are shulker box fillers, or loaders if you want to call them that. And so I can program the item filters up top. We'll hop up here and check that out real quick. So if I've got items that are overflowing, I've got too much to go into storage, but I don't want to lose it, I'll shut off the composter, and the items won't go to compost. What'll happen, they'll just circulate is what'll happen. And they run around and around the farm. If we climb up here, I'll show you that. So this runs around the entire top of the building. and the items will just circle around and around and around. I'm not going to run around this whole thing to show you, but you can see how far that is. So it goes that way all the way around. So the item will just keep circulating. And so what I did was I installed some hoppers here in the item stream. And in here, where we were just at, I've got these item filters sitting here. Okay. So this one's programmed for bamboo currently. This one's programmed for bone meal. And you saw my bone meal silo, it was full, and this is blocks of bamboo. So what happens, let's say the bone meal, okay, items go to compost, the silo's full, bone meal will circulate around the top of the building, and some of my other farms, like the moss farm, the nethergrass farm, those will automatically catch the bone meal first. But when those are full of bone meal, because they run on bone meal, but when they're full of bone meal, then they'll make their way, the bone meal makes its way back around here, and it's going to get caught by this hopper, and it's going to go down into the loader. So if I hop down here, it goes into these boxes first, and then it filters down through that hopper right there over into a shulker box, which you can see right through there. There's a white shulker box in there. And this machine will fill that shulker box up. When it gets full, it outputs a signal, which triggers a piston to break it off. And when it breaks the shulker box, it drops down into the hopper cart and into the chest. So as you can see, since my bone meal silo has been full, my farms are full of bone meal. The bone meal that's just gradually being made, it's a really slow process, but as the bone meal gets made, it's been filling up these boxes, and I have quite the mess here now. So I have all these boxes full of bone meal. Check this out. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Like, how much bone meal does one person need, you know? But that's all right, because in my greenhouse up above the tree farm, I have barrels of items for sale to other members of this realm. And in one of those barrels, it's boxes of bone meal. So they can go and buy however many boxes of bone meal they need to go do their project or their farming or whatever they've got going on, machine they're running to make blocks for themselves. And so I'm actually providing bone meal to the rest of the server if they need it. Not that everybody needs it, because a lot of people have a lot of stuff on this realm. We've been playing on here for like 2 years. But anyway, I will also put a link to the shulker box loaders in the description of the video. I believe it's like, so you know what? I'm not going to try. I will get the name wrong. I thought I had one in mind, but that was the greenhouse channel. I do not remember. I'm thinking it's something like bit something. But anyway, I apologize. I'll put it in the description, and I'll, definitely. Oh, I need to take care of this room. This is this is a glitch from my mushroom farm down below. If you have an empty space above it, it appears that it's spawning mushroom stuff up here. But anyway, I'm gonna run back down this way. We've got a vine shaft in every wall. I don't really have many more farms in this area of the tree farm. So we'll just head back down to the bottom floor here. And the bottom floor, well, this is kind of special. Excuse me. I will head back through here. There's a bat head. Walk back over this direction. I'm just going to the opposite side of the tree farm here. This particular vine shaft, there's a door that goes into a cave, but there's also another floor down below. I keep talking about the compost room, and that's what's down here. So at sublevel 6, the compost room and item transport. So items come into this from all the farms. They come into this room. And with this device, I can either split them to all go to storage, or I can have them all go over here to the composter. Or what's special about this machine is it's called a 50-50 item splitter, and it will actually be able to send half of the items coming in one direction into storage, and half of the items into the other direction into the composter. This is a machine designed by Ilmingo. You should check out that channel. There's a lot of interesting redstone machines on that channel. Let me hop up here and I'll show you what this composter looks like before we go, because it looks like we're hitting that 30-minute mark, and I'm going to go ahead and end this tour. So items flow in here from all sorts of different areas of the farm. You see cactus coming in on that side. See the cactus coming in? It's going into the composters right there, and you just saw the compost disappear, turned into bone meal, and got pulled out at the bottom by that bottom hopper underneath that composter down there. So that's what happens here. So some of the farms, like the grass farms, the moss farms, when they're running, there's so many items coming in here that I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't get clogged up. So I made this big loop, if you want to call it that. So the items flow in from the moss farm, for example, and they start going into all these composters from these hoppers. And you can see there's already compost in some of these. But whenever these hoppers fill up with items, ooh, these items shouldn't be in here. How did that happen? So when these items, let's say it was full of moss blocks and bushes and all that kind of thing, then these are full. Well, the items can flow across and they can go over here to these. And if all these are full, if all of them are full, then the items will just sit here and circulate round and round this thing until the composters have had time to compost all the materials in the hoppers. And then those items that are circulating, as long as it's within 5 minutes, the items will circulate and they'll fall back down into the composters. But once they become bone meal and get pulled out the bottom, it goes over that direction, and that glass back there, that's an item, what we call a dropper clock. I'll just run back around this corner here to show you. So the items, I can't really get back here. It's underneath there. But the circuit's down there, but goes from the chest into a dropper. The circuit fires and causes the dropper to spit the item into that column of water right there, which is a bubble vader. I'm gonna get out of here now. Tight quarters. Run back around the corner here. But what happens is the items go up the elevator, and they come up to right there underneath that slab, and they go that direction, back that way. There's a water elevator back that way that takes the items up to the ceiling where you saw the big circulator that runs around the entire top of the building. So the bone meal will make its way around. It'll fill the farms. It'll fill the shulker boxes. It'll try to go to the silos, so on and so forth. It makes its way around. So anyway, it's really complicated. It took a long time to build it all. It's hard to explain it in just a little tour video. It really is. I wished I had recorded content back when I built this place, to be honest, but I didn't. And, well, it is what it is. To end our tour here, on this side of this compost room, there was a little cave I found, and I turned it into a lush cave on my own, so it's going to be a little bit ridiculous. Because I went a little crazy down here with all the moss blocks, the vines, the dripstones, the pointed dripstones. I just wanted to make a little cave out of it because it was just stone. But I thought it was neat. And I wanted to kind of disguise the fact that if you come all the way back here, there's actually a dripstone farm making pointed dripstone back here, and it's harvesting the dripstone. So it grows, it gets in front of these observers, fires the piston, and then you have it harvest and go to storage. On this side of the room, same thing, but it's glowberries. So these vines grow, they go down in front of the observers, they fire the bone meal dispensers, which add a few more berries to the vine, and then the piston fires and breaks it all off. It falls down into the water trough, goes into circulation, into the farms. It'll either go to compost or it'll go to storage, depending on how I have that item separator configured down there. If we go back here behind the scenes really quickly and show you the farm. So this is the pointed dripstone farm. I do have a way to come in here and check it out. I can turn it on and off. So when I get too many pointed dripstones in storage, I can shut this thing down. But on the back side, you can see that it's just mirrored from the front side. So I built the opposite side as the same farm. Run all the way down here. That's the water elevator that both the dripstone, the pointed dripstone and the glowberries go through to get back up to the top of the base so I can circle around. But this farm is made by Avomance, so you want to check out that channel if you want a pointed dripstone farm. This thing is really simple to build. It's pretty easy, and it produces quite a bit. It's just really slow. Like over time, it produces quite a bit. If we run around this hall, back around the corner, we'll go to the glowberry farm. And so this one, also Avomance, because why not? It's a really simple farm design, and it just works. So tons of glowberries. This one's mirrored on the backside. Oh, look, you can see there's some berries right there on that one. And it's the same thing. So, they grow, they break off, they go down around the corner. Usually I keep extra bone meal in here so I can fill up those dispensers, but I don't have any in there at the moment. I believe that's about it for this tour. And, I mean, we're coming up, let's see, we're at 35 minutes. Wow. I was really going to try to do this tour in 20 minutes, and obviously you cannot do that. But there's still a lot of work to do here yet. I was going to try and sort out this ceiling. That's the tree farm up above, and I was starting to put in some supports here, and I was thinking about some other kind of blocks. I'm not really sure what. Some of the trees actually grow leaves down here, and I thought maybe I'll just fill this in with leaves and leave the lights up above so you can see down here. But anyway, if you got any ideas or suggestions, comments, feedback, positive or negative, I don't care. All feedback is welcome. Drop those in the comment section. If you got anything out of this video, if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to follow along with my World Tour series, again, there's a playlist on my channel. You can subscribe and ring the notification bell so that way you don't miss any of the episodes. You can also catch me on Twitch. I do live stream from time to time, but you need to go follow me so you'll know when I'm on. But anyway, those can be kind of lengthy. On my second YouTube channel, you can check out the replays of all the live streams I've done so far if you really want to sit through all that. They're like 1 to 3 hours long, but I do a lot of stuff. So if you want to see how some of this stuff gets done and built, I'm welcome to go over there and check it out. But anyway, thanks for checking out my channel, watching my videos. I really appreciate you, especially if you stuck around this far. And anyway, you take care. This has been Darkwing Dave. I'm out.